Hi, friends. We're going to start and create a tree using Tinkercad CodeBlocks. So, just kind of, the time of the year, see a lot of lit trees around for various holidays or various things. And so, we're going to create kind of our own little take on that. So, we're going to go into CodeBlocks, and you really can create just about anything that you would like to create with this. Really, we're just going to focus on moving, rotating, kind of setting up, getting some shapes going. Okay, so this one I'm going to give you a limited code. Last one we did, I gave you guys everything. We're going to try to do a little bit less of me giving you the actual code, give you some more creativity to kind of come up with your stuff. So we're going to create a new design. We're going to call this design tree. So you can put your name on it, call it tree. Okay. So here we are in CodeBlocks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my speed all the way up. So as I show you guys the examples, it's going to go really fast. Now it's up to you where you want to put your speed. But the first thing we do is we're going to create our objects, right? So that if we're going to reuse them or do them again, we can get them going. So we're going to create an object. And with our tree, we're going to start with the trunk of the tree. So we're going to rename this. We'll call this the trunk. And what we're going to do is we're going to look for a shape that's going to go under our tree. We're going to try to find what do we want for a shape. And so depending on what you want, I mean, you could go with the cylinder, you could go with the polygon if you want more of kind of like a roughed edge tree. Like there's lots of different options you can go with. What I think I'm going to do, I think I'm going to go with the cylinder for this one. I'm going to drop that cylinder in there. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to open this up. And what we want to do is we want to come up with and see. And now you guys are going to be able to design and create your tree to be whatever size you want your tree to be. So what I'm going to do is we'll start off with the radius of our tree. Now radius is how big it's going to be. So if I hit the play button, see, it makes it a pretty big tree here. So I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. So radius is the diameter is the radius times 2. So if I have my diameter of 5, or I have a radius of 5, the diameter is 10, right, of it. So I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. So I change my radius, right, and you notice it makes it a little bit smaller, right? And then the height, I can make the height of the tree, which is, see, this is going to be what the trunk is, what I want sticking out of the bottom of the tree. I'll make that a little bit smaller because I want my tree to be a little bit closer to the ground. Now you can choose what you want to do. So I'm going to change my height, make it a 10. The sides here, right? Like when we look at this, this is, if I zoom in and I'm looking at my circle here, see how I've got the sides, so it's a little circly. If I change this and I hit play, so look, see, I get rougher edges, right? When I go to the sides on here, the more sides that I have, the more circle-like it's going to look, right? So I'm gonna, if I change that real fast, we can look and see the difference. See how it looks much more circular. I kind of like for mine the rough edges. Now you can make yours whatever it is that you would like to be, right? So we can make anything that we would like to be for. So you can go ahead and play around with it. So that looks like a pretty good. I like kind of how that is. Now, when we talk in CodeBlocks, everything that you do starts at the origin point, which is 0, 0. And so when mine has got a height of 10, so at 0, 0, that means 5 of it is going above my work surface, 5 of it is going below my work surface. If I want to keep this to be, right on the base, it really doesn't matter with this one because we're not going to print it. But if we were going to print these items, you would want to make sure that it's right at the base. So just to get in a good habit, we're going to move it. So we're going to go into our purple. We're going to do a move. And what we're going to do is we're going to move the Z. And so if you take this, so if I've got, it starts 0 is dead center and my height is 10, so that means 5 is above, 5 is below. So if I move my Z axis 5, it's going to go up 5, right? So when I hit play, it moves it up. So it's now right on top of the work surface. So it's right where I want it to be. Now, if I did -5, right? So this is important for when you guys are moving yourself. When I do -5 and I hit play, it moves the entire thing below the work surface. So your positive numbers on your Z-axis are going to move it up towards the sky. Your negative numbers on your z-axis are going to move it down towards the floor, right? So I'm going to go back and I'm going to put that at +5. So that's going to be the trunk of my tree. Right now, you can, as you go through this, if you're like, oh, I want to make this a little bit skinnier, I want to make it a bit fatter, whatever it is that you're looking for your tree, you can totally come up with that. And now we gotta make our branches for our tree. Now, mine is gonna look very tree-like, so it's gonna be the right colors, but you could make your tree whatever colors you want. You make it a hot pink tree if you'd like to. So we're gonna create a new object. We're gonna rename this one, and we're gonna call this branch. And this is going to be our tree branch that we're making now. So what we got to do is figure out what kind of a tree branch are we looking to come up with here. So like if I am looking at my shapes here, what do I want a tree branch to be? I'm going to go with a cone. And again, you can pick different shapes or different things that you want to do. Now, because I want mine to look a little Christmassy, I'm going to change the little holiday tree type thing. I'm going to go and make it, I think this darker, kind of this green is going to be good. I'm going to keep this, my top radius, I'm going to keep that at a 0 because that's going to be the point of my tree. So I'm going to keep that at 0. I'm going to put my bottom radius at, let's do my bottom radius. We'll keep that at 10. Yeah, let's try that. Let's try just what we've got here. Oh, there's my branch. That doesn't look very branchy, right? So what we want to do is let's do this. So I'm going to do my bottom radius. Let's make the bottom radius of 20. So what you're going to see here is it's going to flatten it out as I do this. So when I hit the play button, oh, look at that. See, that flattens it out, makes it a lot more. If I want it to even be a little flatter, I can make it go 30. Watch this. And we'll do this again. There it is. See how it comes out? It's coming out pretty far. I think that's a little too far. So I'm going to go 20. And I'm going to change the height of this. Let's do this real fast. I'm going to make this a little squattier. So there it is. That looks pretty good. But again, it's too low, right? So what we're going to do is I'm going to move this. So I'm going to drop a move block in. So I've got my tree branch here. I'm going to drop a move block in. And so again, we're looking at it. My height is 10. So that's 5 below, 5 above, right? But now I've got to move this. If I move it 5, so if I move my z-axis 5, right, and we do this, it puts it right even with the tree. So what I got to do is I got to move it a little more. So I'm going to go 10 to see if I can get that kind of on top. And there it is. Look at that. That is putting it right on top of my tree. Now, if I want to make it even a little bit higher so I get a little more tree trunk coming out, I can go 15. Let's see what that looks like. There it is. See how it's right up there, and I've got some tree branch. Right now, what I can do is if I click on this, right, I'm going to add another branch. So we're going to copy. So just Control C, Control V. And that gives me everything is exactly the same, all my radius, all my dimensions. But what we're going to do with this one is let's move this one. Let's try 30 to move the Z and hit the play button. Oh, look, see, that's too tall. See how I got it in that extra space there? So let's do 20. Oh, there we go. Look at that. I got it. Now what I could do is I can make this, let's go a little farther up. 23. There we go. Look, it's starting to look very tree-like. Okay, so that's starting to look like a pretty decent tree. So what you can do is add as many branches as you'd like. You can make your branches wider. So if this bottom one, right, if I'm gonna make this one at a 25 radius, watch what happens now. My bottom branch is gonna get a little bit bigger than my top branch. See, so then I can get, as my tree's going up, I can make them consecutively a little bit smaller or however it is that I want to do it. And I'm just moving up on my axis to get those. Right, so now we've got our branches, and you can add as many branches as you'd like and make your tree as epic and as awesome and as big as you would like to, because we're going to turn this in as an animated GIF. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to put some ornaments on here. Right, so I'm going to create a new object or lights or whatever you want to call them, decor. We'll call it decor. So we're going to rename this as going to be decoration, right? Decorations, decoration. All right, so now we're going to add some decorations. Now your decorations can be just about anything that you want them to be, right? So I'm going to start off. I think we're going to do like something that I think is going to I'm going to do a sphere, but it'll make it real bright so it's like a light, like it's going to be a lit up tree. Now it's not actually going to be lit up, but it's going to look like a light. So we're going to do this blue, this sphere, and I'm going to change it to be this. Let's go to a bright green. I'm going to go to a custom and put like a neon like lights on here. I'm going to put a neon light on here. So I think that's a good color there. Okay, so that's going to be my neon light, right? And so then what we're going to do now is we've got it. Now, this is, again, we're talking about the radius, right? If I create this and I hit play, right, it's going to drop my light right in there, right, which is way too big. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change that to 2, and I want this light. I'm going to make this be a 36 because I want to make it very round, like it's a light bulb kind of thing is what I'm looking for here. So I'm going to hit play. So you notice it's right down there at the bottom, and it's right in the middle. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a move because I want to get it to sit on one of my branches here. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to do a move. And inside this move, we're going to move. So my Z axis, so if I look up here, that's 15. So I'm going to move my Z. Let's go 17. Now what we want to do is it's going to move it straight up 17. So I got to move it also on my other axes. So I'm going to move it. I'm going to move it out a little bit. So let's just do this. So if I keep it right here, so I want to show you something. So I keep it at the 0. If I move my Y, let's do this. If I move my Y 15 and I hit play, so watch what happens. So when I do my Y at 15, see that it moves it back. Okay. So what I want to do is if I wanted to move it forward, so it's more towards the front, I would want to do a negative 15. Okay. Now watch this. When I hit play again, it moves it towards the front. Okay, so now I've got it moved directly towards the front. So then with my Z, if I move it 10, remember that's going to go up. So when we're moving on our work plane, and that's what this project is all about, is how do we move on the work plane? So positive numbers on your Z axis move up, negative numbers on your Z axis move down, positive numbers on your Y axis move towards the back of the work plane, negative numbers bring it closer towards the front. Okay, so then I'm going to hit and I'm going to add this. Let's see what I got here. So now I've got it up there. I can kind of see my tree when I scoot around, but it's hidden. It's not in there just right. So I'm going to go up a little more. Let's change that up to 13. And let's see if I can see it. Oh, it's sticking out there just a little bit. I like it. I'm going to go 14 just to get them up there. There it is. Now what I can do is I can also move my x-axis, right? So here it is. So I've moved it up and towards the front. My x-axis, if I move it, let's move it 10, right? And what we're going to see is it's going to move it to the right. If I do negative numbers, it's going to move it to the left, okay? So that, if I go and I zoom around, it's sitting right on top. It looks like a nice little, there it is. It's all connected. I like that. I think that's a good spot for my light, right? And so here's what you guys are going to do is you're going to create your tree. You can decorate it with whatever you would like. It does not have to have lights on it. You can put stars, you can put other things on it. You're just going to make kind of the best or most epic tree that you can just to decorate and just have is awesome. Like just something that you might see around town or something that you would love to see. You can make as many branches as you want, put on as many decorations as you want. You can even go in and put something on the top of it if you want to put a topper on it, whatever it is that you're wanting to do. You're just going to create this awesome tree and you're going to turn this